Yeah. I mean,
It's like Michael Jackson and kids.
Yeah, it's just like he didn't do it, but the jokes are still funny.
The jokes are still funny. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, no, I never like Michael Jackson was one case that I never believed the fucking accusers for some reason. Not
Neither did
because
I.
I liked his
Another
music or whatever, but it was just like it just felt wrong. To me, he didn't look like he was diddling kids, but more like he was trying to be a kid. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's why he was hanging around so many kids because he wanted to relive his childhood, and then the only way he could actually do that is by playing with kids. Not in that way, but
his father was a tyrant, and he didn't have a childhood because he was with the Jackson 5, him and his brothers. And
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, like basically,
he didn't have a childhood.
Workhorse. Yeah, he got turned into a workhorse for his dad, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't get to have a childhood, so he was trying to have one. But then at the same time, he was also a really shrewd businessman. Like he got all that Beatles music, bought it right out from under Paul McCartney. Like because like I said, he's a very shrewd businessman. Him and Paul McCartney were friends. It ruined their relationship. Because Michael Jackson's just, that's business, Paul. Sorry.
But to be honest with you, I like from what few of the Beatles music that I've heard, they're fucking overrated. This is a hot take.
I am not a fan of the Beatles music, but I mean they struck a chord, so good on them.
Oh, I'm not going to deny that they struck a chord. But it's like saying that Cardi B struck a chord because she's like one of the most famous artists in modern history. So
that's not exactly a fair comparison because at the very least, Lennon and McCartney wrote their own songs. I do not believe Cardi B has ever written her own song.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I think the Beatles are highly overrated. Lennon was a dirty commie who deserved to get shot. There, I said it.
Oh no, I 100% agree. I can't stay. There's nothing worse. There's nothing nothing I hate more than a commie with 3 Rolls Royces.
Also, like
I can't remember how many Rolls Royces he had. I'm pretty sure it was more than one.
Really? Damn.
But yeah, he liked Rolls Royces. He had a fucking Rolls Royce that him and Yoko drove around New York in.
Yeah, and the Rolls is not something you drive around in. It's something that you reserve for like special fucking occasions. Anyway.
Well, it might not have been his daily driver, but I know he drove around in it. There's pictures of him in it. He had at least one Rolls that he liked a lot. And I'm pretty sure he had more than one. If I was going to have a fucking British luxury car, I'd get a Bentley. Fuck a Rolls Royce.
I've driven a Bentley, and to be honest with you, it's not as exhilarating a drive as I thought it would be.
That makes me sad to hear.
And that makes me, you know what makes me sad about that though?
What's that?
I'm pretty sure that Bentley is owned by Volkswagen as well.
Of course it is. Goddamn Germans.
Yeah, so it's also owned by Volkswagen, which also owns my favorite car, the Audi. And yeah, for some reason, it's like the Audis drive better. Just in my opinion.
In my area,
I was given a Bentley Continental to drive for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 2014, I think it was. Pretty sure it was 2014. It was like the V10 or something, right? And yeah, it just was not. It was not. It was not as. Was it V10 or was it V8? Fuck, I'm not sure now. Yeah, it was not as. It was not as. Yeah, it was just not as exhilarating to drive as I thought it would be, which was just highly disappointing.
Oh well, I guess you can't win them all. I've seen there was a I don't see it around here anymore. I haven't seen it around here in years, but there was a guy around here that had a Bentley that he would bring out to car shows, and it was a more modern Bentley. It was like it could not have been more than 20 years old. So I don't even have a point of reference. I don't even know what kind of Bentley it was. I just know I really liked it, and it's just like I said, I haven't seen it in years, so I don't even know what it was. But
not fair.
But it was very cool looking.
No, I can't. I can't pick anything on the design, like on the exterior design, and the interior. To be honest, like it was actually pretty cool, but yeah, it just didn't. It just did not handle as well as I thought it would. And it just, yeah, it was not. It was definitely not. Yeah, it was not an exhilarating a drive as I thought it would. And the worst part was.
That's unfortunate. Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
Yeah, and the worst part was, I swear to God, the worst road manners I've ever seen was when I was driving the Bentley. And I am actually convinced that it's because I'm a brown guy driving the Bentley. Like everyone around you wants to crash into you like some fucking retard because they think you have money or something.
Shut up, dogs. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I'll just leave it in. Fuck it.
Yeah, just leave it in. Who cares?
Yeah, it gives the show character.
But yeah, fuck, we're talking about cars again. God damn it.
Yeah, it's my fault. I started talking about Bentleys.
But yeah, like, I just found the whole thing, what's the word? Very suspicious. Like the timing, you know, McAfee gets Epsteined, Cosby, and then this whole, I don't know, this whole the events of the past year, really, have just been, the last year and a half, actually, so like since the beginning of 2020, they just felt like the establishment is just trying to flex on us. Like, look at what we can do. We can hold up your agenda despite, like, you know, an overwhelming mandate. We can hold up, like, we can do what we want. We can get an actual demented person elected to president. We can go after whoever we want with no repercussions, even if you know that we did something wrong. It's like, I don't know. Like it does feel like a deliberate attempt at demoralization. And
I feel, and I genuinely feel like it's going to have the complete opposite effect. It's not going. There will be a period of demoralization, but that will be followed by a righteous fury.
Nah, I completely agree with that. And that's the thing that worries me the most, because the longer the demoralization lasts, the brighter that fury will burn. And it is not going to be pretty.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, there's peaceful divorce at least in the United States is quite simply not possible. But I would rather it be just a few skirmishes between some extremists, but ultimately relatively a peaceful divorce. But I'm afraid it's going to end up French Revolution, style and I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want us to be dragging wealthy Democrats out and hanging them in the streets or guillotining them in the streets or, God forbid, throwing them from helicopters. I do not want that to happen. I'm afraid it might. And here's the thing, if it came to that, the right would win. There's more of us. We're spread out way too much across the entire nation instead of concentrated in a few small areas. The majority of the military is Republican or independent or libertarian. The majority of the enlisted men are Republican or anything but Democrat is what I'm getting at. Now, obviously, some of the independents are going to be fucking douchebag socialists, but you get what I'm saying. And and what's even worse for them is a lot of these guys, a lot of these actual hard asses, these like real soldier types, are going to get forced out of the army due to wokeness. And what do people think they're going to do? They're just going to go home. And then if the boogaloo comes, now you've got a bunch of hard asses who aren't in the military for you to deploy elsewhere so that they're not home. Now they're home. And they're armed.
They're home.
And they're trained.
They're home, which means they've got a lot more incentive to defend what they have. Because it's
and then there's
theirs.
And then the whole, like, the wokeness in the military, like, yes, that's going to be a problem. in the foreseeable future. But I seriously think that this is. I don't think like I'm not as worried about that as a lot of other people are. It's a problem. I'm worried about it, but not as worried about it. Like I think that ultimately, the right military minds will step up to the plate and go, no, nope. We've had enough of this shit. Yeah. Or all the actual fucking badasses will just leave. They'll leave the military and they'll all come home, and then who are they going to have to enforce their bullshit if it came down to it? What?
They'll just join shit. They'll just join biker gangs probably.
I'm just say Joe Biden like Joe Biden said we needed nukes if we want to take on the, we need F-15s and nukes. And his fucking his shit's outdated. F-15s and nukes. Bitch, we're up to F-22s now. Or we're past F-22s. We're up to F-24s and shit.
Are we? I haven't kept up with it, no.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't either. But F-22, F-24, something like that. The point is, it's just fucking Joe Biden. You need nuclear weapons to take on the U.S. government. We really don't. Like, you guys are so horribly outnumbered, you would have to nuke us. Like, it's just, I don't want any of this shit to happen. I keep wanting to say, like, defensively Susan and all this stuff, and then I remember that this only goes to BitChute, so I need to diversify, but as of right now, it's still only going to BitChute, and I don't have to worry about any of that, as long as I don't talk bad about the Jews. And even then, like, there's still so much anti-Jew stuff on BitChute, even though apparently the British government is cracking down more on that. They're not going to shut down BitChute, but but BitChute's not enforcing any of this stuff. It's it's weird. Fucking Britain.
It's weird. Although, yeah, like, I was always concerned about BitChute because of the fact that it's based in the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, like, at this point, you're basically just gambling on which site to use. So, all of them are pretty much compromised in some way. Like, I mean, the main problem I had with this was when Obama handed over. Fuck, I can't remember. See, like, I'm too boomer to remember like all these technical terms. But like, when Obama handed over like a bunch of something to do with like internet hosting to the UN. I think it was like, like let the UN govern like, what goes on the internet and all that shit. And that was in like 2012 or so, like 2012, 2013, when the whole SOPA thing was really
no, that's why I don't remember any of this, because this was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Almost a decade ago.
Yeah. And like I had at that time I had serious misgivings about it, because I was like, wait, the UN they don't condone freedom of speech. Like, and that's the single most important thing that made the internet the internet. That's not good. Yep. That is not good. So, I don't know, like, it's taken a while, but we're really starting to see, I guess it's called the end result of that. Yeah. Well, it's not even really the end result. It's like a pathway to the end result.
Yeah. The world's just, oh god, so black-pilled. And like I usually, like when I'm in the server, I piss and moan about I can't stand Blonde's doomer shit on Matt and Blonde. Like I can't stand it when she's like, meh, everything sucks, I hate America. Meh. Like, shut up, bitch. But then like I have these moments where I'm just like, everything is awful. Oh, it's going to hell in a handbasket. You're looking up the fucking...
Yeah, the internet thing. Yep.
Yeah. And... Yeah, send me a link to that so I can put that on the screen. Overlay. Pow.
This is the only BBC. The only thing I see is the BBC, because that's the only one that's allowing me to read the full article. There's a thing on Forbes and yes, ICANN. Yep, the internet, the domain name system. Yep, DNS. Like, you basically hand over. Yep. So essentially, they handed it over to people.
Well, thank God for Texas, at the very least. This guy, the first line of this thing is that a Texas judge put the kibosh on a last-minute legal attempt to block the controversial decision for the U.S. to give up control of one of the key systems that powers the
internet. It got handed over. It got handed over on the 1st of October. So there's that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Young, skinny Ted Cruz.
Yep.
Fat, bearded Ted Cruz is just way cooler.
Yeah, he is. Like, he doesn't have the same, used car salesman aura. The beard makes him look so much more presentable.
And he's way trollier, too. Like, his Twitter game has just gotten so much better over the years. Yep, these will go in the overlay. Yeah, no, that's, fuck, man, I forgot all about this shit. God, it's been years. It's just, Trump's entire presidency was so fucking insane, it's hard to, It's
only been 5 years since he got elected.
I know, but it feels like it was a decade, man. It feels like an entire decade. Fuck, 2020 felt like 2 years crammed into 1 year.
More than that. Nah, 2020 felt like there was so much shit happening. It was like, oh man. Oh.